What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and there's a lot that I have to cover here, but um, we have to look at this because this is actually pretty crazy, if you ask me. Um, but before I get into that, um, what we're gonna do is cover a couple of news. So let's go here. If you're in the Florida area, multiple flights have been grounded at all Florida airports. Currently, the National Guard or the National Ground has ordered all. Pretty sure that's probably National. I'm not sure. National Ground has ordered all flights to be grounded at all major airports due to issues related to air traffic control affecting all major and private airports. So, be aware if you're in the Florida area, this is what's taking place. Now, check this out, because I'm experiencing this, and I'm sure all of you are. But here, watch this.
This is for anybody out there who thinks that inflation is not real. This right here cost me $115 after tax. And even if you're going to come at me and say, oh yeah, toilet paper is really expensive, you take that $19.99 out, and all of this right here is literally still $86 plus before taxes. I got like literally deodorant, flour, milk, juice, and like $86 just for this, not the toilet paper.
Yep, and that's the fact, Jack, of what's going on today in this world. Inflation. And this is that we're in the first wave, folks. I'm telling you, you got to get prepared because that next wave is coming, and we who knows how many waves we'll have, but we're in the end game. We're in the end game, and you're starting to see. If you didn't see, I've showed you on here their simulation for the next wave of pestilence that they plan on doing. They had in October of 2022. Folks, you've got to be prepared and ready because it's coming whether you want it or not. And and this is what the end game is. They want ultimate control. And how are they going to do it? Take a listen.
15 minutes of freedom here in the UK. So let me tell you the plan. The plan is in Oxford, and this has just been passed by the council, to divide the city here into, the squiggly city, into 6 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will only have the freedom to operate in the part that you live. So if this is you, the idea is that everybody will live within 15 minutes of the things they need. 15 minutes of a school, 15 minutes of a doctor's, 15 minutes of a supermarket. And if you want to travel to the other zones in your city, or maybe soon your town, you will have to go out an approved route. You will have to journey around the outside of the city in order to re-enter another section of the city. This plan is supposed to be saving the planet. And the idea is that you won't simply be able to cross over into other sections of your city anymore. So if your mother, for example, lived over here, you wouldn't be able to just go across and see her. This would all be done via e-gates, electronic gates, and number plate recognition. You in your area will only be allowed within that 15-minute zone that you've been allocated. The number plate recognition will know if you leave your zone. And you can apply for permission, a permit to leave your zone and travel to another zone. But you'll only be allowed to do this about 100 times a year. This is real. I just have to stop and say that. This has actually been passed by Oxford Council. This is happening in the next 2 years, 2024 it begins. And if you use up all your 100 passes that someone designates whether you're allowed to have to go into the different zones, you'll be fined. Your number plate will be recognised. It will observe that you've gone somewhere you're not allowed in your own city, and it will fine you £100 or £80 or whatever the fine number is.
And I've talked about this before about them trying to zone off parts, I believe, of Oxford, I think it said it was in London. This is a very serious thing, and it's coming. And when that next round of pestilence gets unleashed, well, they'll have it ready to go. People will be accustomed. This time it's even more regulations. And to end this is what happened tonight at one of the games. Look at him. So there was a tackle that was made right there, right? Okay. This is a routine tackle that takes place in a game. You see him, he stands up, feels a little wobbly, falls down. And so, folks, I'm not, because the overlords that be, I'm not going to get into specifics, but this happened, say what you will. He then after was administered CPR for 9 minutes. He was 24. He's 24 years old. He's presently been taken to the hospital in critical condition. You hate to see this, right? They suspended the game, and I hope for his sake that he's okay. Prayers to him and his family. But folks, I'm just gonna say I've never seen something like this, and where a player has to have CPR administered. And if we see the current situation around the world in 2020 and 2021, what did we see with soccer players? So I'm not going to come to conclusions, but I'm just saying occurrences like this are becoming very, very frequent across all sports. And so I'll leave it at that. All right. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.